Thank you, Coochie Too Big.
Yippee, god damn it.
I love gambling.
Welcome to episode 4 of the podcast, Zasha Loves Chats. I am Zasha, and today Vlad and Ellie will be joining me, and we will be reading Am I the Asshole stories. So, have fun. Okay.
Am I the asshole for using my neighbor's bath?
Sorry, it's already funny.
I live in an apartment block and live across from my neighbor. Let's call him Jerry. Jerry is a 40-year-old man who lives alone and works 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. He gave me a key a few years back when he went on holidays. I still have the key. 6 months ago, my shower broke before a big work presentation. I sent him a text asking if I could use his bath, but he never got back to me. I assumed it was okay. It turned out he changed his number. Anyway, I had the bath and loved it. I don't have a bath in my flat, and it was some experience. I brought my own shower gel, shampoo, and rubber duck, so I didn't use anything he had paid for. Since then, I've just been using his bath when he's not around. It is the best part of the week, midday on Tuesday and Friday when I head in. Then everything went wrong. Jerry died. I didn't know this, and I went in for my Tuesday's bath. Was sitting there relaxing when his brother came in and was shocked to see me sitting naked on his toilet post shower. It was the worst moment he could have arrived. He was so mad. I was humiliated beyond belief. I am still so embarrassed and I feel so ashamed of my body and how I appeared to this man. It turned into a big thing. Apparently, I'm a dick for using Jerry's bath. I don't think so, because I always brought my own stuff and Jerry gave me the key to begin with. I am heartbroken at the loss of my neighbor and the lovely memories he gave me. Am I actually the asshole? Because I don't think so.
Yeah.
Slight issue. I can't see the whole post. It, cuts off.
If you I don't know, I can see the whole thing. If
Why
you
doesn't it show
there's
you
like
the
a
whole
drop
thing?
down, isn't there?
Not for me. It just stops, and then it's cut off.
Where does it stop?
It says I always brought my... After it says apparently I'm a dick for using Jerry's bath, and then it just says archive post, new comments cannot be posted, and then I can see this writing, but it won't let me look. Let me show you. See?
Hold on, it's loading.
Oh, well, that's really weird. Maybe try clicking on it. Oh.
Do you guys have accounts or something?
No.
Why can't I fucking
tech-
see it?
I do, but it shouldn't. It
Well,
shouldn't
Ellie can
matter.
see it.
Mine just had a little arrow and I pressed it and it showed me everything.
Now it's okay. Now it's showing
There
up.
you go. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
It was
It just fucking hated me for some reason. That was annoying. Oh, is this to show what people think they are? At the top where it says asshole.
Yeah, that's the community rated this to be.
I see.
asshole.
I would agree. Am I the asshole for breaking into my neighbour's house? I know he gave the key, but that was years ago. And also,
why did he give him the key? When he went on holidays?
Because he was
to
on
take
holiday.
care of the house?
Yeah.
Oh, just in case,
Yeah.
for emergencies. Yeah, he didn't give you permission to fucking break in.
If you text and someone doesn't respond, that's not a yes. I hate to say it.
Yeah. I think it's pretty obvious that he's a dick. And poor Jerry dying. I mean, that is pretty messed up, honestly.
And also, he never knew that someone was coming in his house the whole time.
Yeah, and do you know what though? Imagine a woman as
Yeah,
well,
that'd
and you
be
had
so
someone
fucked up.
breaking in. I know Jerry's a 40-year-old man. It doesn't still though, like that's really actually concerning that you feel so comfortable to just break into someone's
And the
house.
water bill.
Oh, yeah, of course,
The
yeah.
fact that you
Hot
try to
water.
say, "Oh, it's okay because I brought my own shampoo and stuff," that doesn't change the fact that your hair gets clogged in that shower. In the bath, it's your hair.
Yeah,
And it's Jerry's water. It's Jerry's electricity when you turn
that's
on the
true.
light.
Yeah. I just think it's a massive safety issue. Like you're using someone else's freaking bath and stuff. Like no, they don't know if you have hand, foot, and mouth disease or something.
Exactly, and you don't know if they
Exactly.
do either.
It's like I think that's the biggest problem, honestly, is like the safety thing, not just like health and safety, but also like Jerry's safety. Like,
Yeah.
how
The
scared you would
biggest
be.
issue behind it
Mm.
is it's taking no answer as a yes answer.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, is the biggest reason why this
Yeah.
person's an asshole.
Yeah, I
This
think
one
plain and
was
simple.
yeah, very, very simple. The next one is a real good one.
Okay. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Am I the asshole for taking my girlfriend's lasagna home when she said I could? Okay. All right. My girlfriend and I are both college students. She lives in an apartment on her own, and I live with my parents. On Sunday, my girlfriend made homemade lasagna for our date night. She made everything from scratch, including the noodles. It was really good, so after we finished, I asked if I could take the lasagna home for my family to try. She said yes. When I left that night, I took the tray of lasagna with me. My girlfriend didn't walk me out, so she didn't see me take the tray. On Monday, I got a text from my girlfriend asking where her lasagna was. I told her I had taken it home for my family. She said, I thought you were going to take some, not the whole thing. I spent most of my food budget for the week on it with the intention to eat leftovers for the rest of the week. Now I don't know what I'm going to eat. I felt bad and apologized, but pointed out that I had asked her if I could take it home, and she didn't tell me I couldn't take the whole tray. She said it should have been obvious that I shouldn't take the whole thing since the tray was so big. To be fair to her, it was a really big tray. My family of 5 only just finished the tray yesterday
Oh my
after
god.
eating it for dinner both nights. Family of 5! But I don't think the size of the tray makes it obvious that I shouldn't take it. Monday night and last night, my girlfriend complained that she had to eat instant noodles for dinner so that she wouldn't blow her food budget. Today, she is asking me if I can buy her a sandwich since I took her leftovers for the week. It sucks that she spent her food budget on the lasagna, but I think this is her fault for not being clear that I shouldn't take the whole thing. I don't think she is justified in asking me to buy her lunch because of it. She called me an asshole for not being willing to help. Am I the asshole? Absolutely.
Does 10 meals, your family of 5, ate it 2 nights in a row,
And
10 meals, and
it's
you took the whole
insane
thing?
that you didn't even think like, okay, maybe even if I take most of it, obviously I should still leave like all of it. She
That's
made it.
crazy.
Not only did she buy like all of the stuff for it, but she made a massive amount. I can understand miscommunications as well. Like let's say for instance, he really did think that okay, like she said I could take all of it. But for you to be like, well, this is your fault. I'm not even going to buy you anything. Like, that's even more of an asshole move to be like, I'm not even going to get you a fucking sandwich because I took
Yeah,
all of your food.
the thing is, you're very clearly dealing with like an idiot, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like the part where he, for me, cemented that he's an asshole is where he like didn't step in.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel bad for my girlfriend eating fucking instant noodles for dinner.
But this is on her.
But it's her. Yeah, it's on her. What can
That's
I
for
do?
sure.
My hands are tied.
That was it for me too. I was like, yeah, this guy's
Yeah, like
obviously
at
an
that
idiot.
point, if you go and say like, oh well, the next night I immediately took her out for dinner.
Yeah.
And like I ordered her
Yeah.
food for like the whole week, try and
Mhm.
make it up somehow, and she's
Mhm.
still mad at me, then there's a little leeway here because you did make a stupid mistake, right? But you very obviously realized that was a mistake. You felt
Yeah.
bad about it.
Yeah.
But it felt like that guy was very strict on like playing this. Well, technically you said I could take it, so I took
Yeah.
it,
Also,
and it's
Well,
your fault.
I
his
have a
technique, yeah.
feeling. I have a feeling she asked for the lasagna back, and then they'd already had some, but I have a feeling it wasn't finished then. On Monday, he got the text asking where the lasagna was, and then he says that they finished it yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like
so he maybe
not
like
only that, he finished it after she'd already said that was my meal for the week. He could have taken like the other half back.
Yeah, as in like, okay, I'll take it so my family can try, but I'm gonna bring some back. Because obviously,
Yeah.
like, it's on the tray. So yeah, maybe it was like implied that, okay, you can take it, but you're not eating all of it. She was
Yeah.
probably thinking, I mean, obviously there was enough for 2 nights of full meals for a family of 5. So she wasn't thinking that the family of 5 was gonna be eating it for 2 days straight. So yeah. That's very bizarre. What is this fucking Garfield's family? Seriously, what?
Apparently.
That's crazy.
And I do believe that might be a real one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like somebody could be that stupid.
If I could take the lasagna home for my family to try. Yeah, to try, not devour.
Try doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big difference there for sure. Oh man. She made a freaking that's so much lasagna.
Giant tray, yeah.
That's more I can't even
Whole
picture it in
week's
my head.
food budget. The way
He
I
was
imagine it
she
is
can
it would
sub.
fill the whole like one floor of the fridge. It's just the tray of
Yeah, I
lasagna.
imagined it with that thing is huge. A family of 5 that's incredible. Not just for one meal, but like
And
that's a
that's
lot
at
of
least
people.
3 adults as well.
Yeah,
So his
I
parents
would
and
say
him.
so. Yeah, exactly. That's actually this
Maybe more.
it gets crazier the more you even like pull apart how big
Yeah.
the lasagna actually was. Wow. Okay. Simple.
Speaking of idiots, our next contender is very high up there.
All right. Let me have a look. All right, I'm opening it now. Okay.
Am I the asshole for quotes ruining the rice that my boyfriend cooks with by consolidating the multiple bags of rice which he claims are different into a single
Oh
container?
Lord.
I, 26F, moved in with my boyfriend, 23M, earlier this year. He is kind of disorganized, so I tend to have to tidy things up a lot. He often complains that I misplace his things, but it's really just his lack of organization more than anything. He keeps telling me to stop moving his things around, but we live here together, so I don't see why I should stop doing that.
It's not your stuff.
Anyway, he happens to be the one who does most of the cooking, and I'd say he's pretty good at it. One thing that does bother me is that he keeps multiple huge bags of rice in the kitchen, which he claims are different types of rice. But I looked at them and they're all just the same white rice. I told him that they should put it in a proper container, but he insists that it's just fine the way it is. But the thing is, I don't think that it's fine the way it is. So yesterday, I decided to consolidate all of the rice by getting a huge tub to put all of the rice in. I dumped all 3 bags in there and put it in the pantry. When I texted my boyfriend and told him where I put the rice, he completely freaked out and said that I ruined the rice. He texted me that I can't mix basmati rice with jasmine rice.
Yep.
But it's all this white rice. I don't see how it's any less edible. When he came home, he just started yelling at me, and it was really hurtful because I was doing him a favor.
Oh,
I hate that.
You know
You
who
were
this
not doing
reminds
him
me
a
of?
favor.
You know who this
If
reminds me of?
Is it by any chance
A certain someone?
Julie?
No, the first part of touching
Yeah.
the things, but no, in general.
Yeah, I was doing him a favor.
I think you all know who I'm talking about.
Just like, you're not doing him a favor if he's already asked you to stop doing it.
That's
now you
first of
really
all, yeah.
fucked up.
But
Yeah.
factually, basmati rice and jasmine rice, for instance, that she brought up here, the reason it's separated is because you prepare them differently. If you put the same, if you put basmati rice and jasmine rice in the same fucking bowl and boil it at different temperatures, one of them is going to be undercooked and the
Yeah.
other one's going to be overcooked at the same fucking time.
Could be fragrant
You
too.
ruined the rice.
Which
Yeah, there's
you have
no way
to.
to salvage it too, because you'd have to
Yeah.
pick out individual little rice pecks out of there to fix this. There is no fixing it, and this rice is ruined.
Also,
And it's
lack of
3
organization.
giant bags.
Yeah,
People
that's
buy
crazy.
rice in huge bags.
Yeah.
And
She
I have
says,
no doubt in my fucking heart that this person wasted a lot of money on that rice.
yeah. She says it's really just his lack of organization. It sounds like he's very organized. His rice sounds very organized.
It's very separate.
And he knows where his things are because he knows that they're not in the place that they were.
Yeah.
They have different interpretations of unorganized, but that's so overstepping. And also, like, at this point, why are you trying to mother him? He's cooking. He knows the difference between fucking white rice, and he knows where his things are. Like, he doesn't need a mother.
I
He's
also don't like
his
the
own thing.
quotations on ruining and different, when in the exact same story, she literally explained that her boyfriend already told her that they're different, the basmati and jasmine rice, for instance. They're very
She's
obviously different types of rice.
very sure.
But they look the same to her, I guess. And she just, like, the story itself implies, the way she worded it just straight up implies that she does not believe her boyfriend to begin with.
Yeah.
On whether
Yeah.
it's different rice or not, which
Yeah.
is so stupid to begin with. Why wouldn't you trust a person on such a simple premise?
Obviously, if it's separated, then it is different. And also, I'm sure if it was written on it, maybe it wasn't written on it at all. But regardless, if it were, you would see the difference. But it's just not. He cooks. You're not even the one cooking it. Just leave it alone.
It's a genuinely bizarre case. Like, it's the same as the previous one, where the problem is idiot.
Yeah.
And this one is, like, even harder because it's not she's doubling down in the post itself. It's almost
Yeah.
like she wrote the post with the expectation that everyone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're so right, girly. Why would you keep 3 separate bags of rice? You're so cool for mixing it up like that."
Consolidated. Is this logistics? You're working in a warehouse. You have to consolidate the rice. It's insane. That pissed me off from start to finish.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, it did remind me of my mum, who touches all my stuff since I was a child.
Alright. The next one is
Okay.
going to be a gray area.
Oh, okay. It's in the chat already?
Yep.
Right. Am I the asshole for throwing away my boyfriend's potentially illegal yogurt collection? All right. I'm a 29 female. My boyfriend is a 30-year-old male. We've been living together for 2 years in a little studio in a very expensive big US city. My boyfriend grew up rurally with lots of space, enough to collect all kinds of things. He collected action figures and video games and all the normal kids stuff when he was young, but as he grew older, he became interested in more unusual things. As a teen, he had 8 guinea pigs of different types from different breeders. Since Tide Pods were released 7 years ago, he's saved every one of every kind of Tide Pod. He's got a big box of an international variety of electric insulators, those little ceramic hats that power lines wrap around on power poles. He's not a hoarder. He's usually neat, just used to having lots of space for his bizarre collections. At his parents' ranch, he has 2 big rooms full of containers of weird and impressive things. Okay. He recently became interested in yogurt. He's always hated dairy products until about a year ago. He's not just started drinking milk and sharing ice cream with me, but he's found a love for yogurts. So now he collects them. Of course, the problem is that they're perishable. So until earlier today, our little 550 square foot studio contained about 2,100 cups of yogurt. Okay. Like sealed? It comes in tons of varieties, different types, flavors, textures, containers made by different companies in different countries. This is like crack to my boyfriend. So he tried to pretty much save a sample of everything he could find. I'm assuming, oh, so they are sealed. He
Yeah,
filled,
sealed.
yeah, he filled our fridge, bought a new fridge, and then another tiny bedside fridge. He said he didn't want to walk to the fridge at night, but it was obviously a ruse to get more yogurt space. These fridges all filled up with his yogurts, and if you keep them for long, they smell bad. Right? Yeah. Um, Sometimes the packaging breaks, so our apartment was smelling like rotten milk for the last 2 weeks, and my boyfriend's attitude was, oh, it's fine, and just deal with it for a little longer, until I pulled the plug and threw it all out this morning. I was looking at my groceries, which I had to put beside the fridge because there was no space, and everything smelled like death, and then I kind of snapped and threw it all away. My boyfriend is understandably upset. We've been arguing about whether I crossed a line by throwing away his stuff, and he's especially upset because he, of course, had rare yogurts that were hard to find. In particular, he had some Cuban and Iranian yogurts that you can't get in the US. But I know that we have trade sanctions against Iran and Cuba, so I don't know if it was even legal for him to have them. I asked where he got his Iranian yogurt, but he kept insisting the Iranian yogurt is not the issue here, and that the real issue was me throwing out his precious yogurts without his permission. Am I the asshole? Do I need legal advice?
I would say I understand why he's upset
Yeah.
as a collector, but
Yeah.
that was just going to cause them problems.
That's
in the future.
biohazard.
Like it was, yeah, it's becoming dangerous if it was going to get left any longer. He
Yeah,
could
the
have.
second it
There
starts
was
to smell and
ways.
you don't throw it away. No.
Yeah, he could have.
Yeah.
He could have washed the packaging and kept the packaging instead. There was ways around it. But
Yes, I get
yeah,
that. I do understand that.
I don't blame her.
He
I don't blame her
wasn't.
for throwing it away.
Yeah. Also, that is hoarding. At that point, if you are keeping
Yes.
things that are rotting and going disgusting and you refuse to throw them away, that's hoarding. There is a very big difference. I appreciate that she actually likes this part of him that he collects, and
Yeah.
she even says he's not a hoarder. So I can see that she's like really appreciative of this personality trait of his, that he has lots of collections and he's got lots of stuff that he's collected at home. And she even says like impressive things, weird and impressive. But this is like obviously a freaking health and safety hazard. So she's made it clear that she appreciates this part of him, but not rotting, death-smelling yogurt.
Yeah.
Not
You
enough room
can
for
very
groceries.
obviously tell that she is a very supportive person.
Yeah.
And you could like assume that, oh well, maybe they had a conversation about it. Like they should have had a better conversation about this. But I feel like in the story she also did bring it up that like they
Yeah.
talked about this and he was like, oh, it's fine, just a little longer,
Yeah.
At the point where it begins to smell and it's a biohazard, it's not just stinky, it is a genuine health risk to
Yeah.
everyone involved.
To her own health. Yeah, she had to make
Exactly.
a decision.
Exactly.
She had to, unfortunately, like that.
I do feel like it was the right one.
Yeah, I agree. Like Ellie was saying, I get it. Maybe if some of the containers he wanted to keep, but that should have been it was past the point. It was past the point. It wasn't going to happen. We don't even know how long they were smelling for. Could have been quite a little while before you reach a breaking point where you think, okay, I can imagine I get overstimulated with smells, and I get very angry when smell is like overwhelming. So I can imagine someone who's trying very hard to put up with someone else's I don't know what you want to call it, hoarding situation where it is smelling so bad, you are going to hit breaking point pretty quickly with a smell like that in your home.
As well, she was already like, not like letting him as an adult, but she was fine with the collections he had already.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not like a massive compromise for just, I know you can't really control your interests, but not doing that.
2,100.
Like, if when we lived together, I would not collect fucking like perfume sample things because I know what that would do.
Imagine you have like
You know?
100 bath bombs, and I walk into a room and
Yeah,
it's
and
like
I
a
put
lush
them all on
shop.
a shelf.
Yeah,
Yeah, I put them all on a shelf, and I
Yeah.
have them all out so you can smell them all the time.
that's right. No, yeah, there's
But
compromise.
at least they wouldn't mold. There is that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how long was he freaking collecting them for? For them to be going
Enough to
rotten?
buy 2 new fridges as well.
That's
They were going rotten in the fridge.
2,100.
Yeah.
That's in it. I can't even picture in my head that much.
And the whole thing of just collecting things, when you're collecting perishable items,
Mm,
you know that this is bad.
yeah, it's
Because
pretty bad.
some people do collect something along the lines of it, but most of the time they focus on keeping the packaging
Yes,
rather than the
yeah,
actual food inside.
that's right.
There's definitely a way they could have made it work if he had just kept his uh, impulses at bay
Yeah,
and had just eaten the yogurt itself and then found a way to clean it and seal it.
it would have been fine. Wash the
Yeah, you could
container.
have kept it. Yeah,
Easy.
you could have kept the container somewhere.
Mm. That
But
could have been
keeping the
manageable.
perishable part of the yogurt, which is a dairy product, which is incredibly unsafe to keep when spoiled.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Absolutely not.
maggots would have been next. Honestly, that just would have been
Yeah.
the next thing, and
They're probably
The maggot
yeah.
collection.
Oh my god, it would have gotten so dangerous so quickly. I don't even want to know. Dairy, yeah, dairy items. Jesus. Ugh.
Alright, so the next one is a little bit more similar. It's kind of similar,
Okay.
but here it's well, you'll see. You'll see what I mean.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm just reading the title. If my mum has a lot of jars. If
Am
Chris
I
did
the
this to my mum, there
asshole
would be hell to pay.
for throwing out my girlfriend's jars? Throw away because I know she likes to read relationship boards sometimes. I, 42, am moved in with my lovely girlfriend, 28F,
Okay.
Oh,
a
okay.
few months ago. Before this craziness started, and we've been dating for a year before that. She's an excellent cook and really funny. So life with her has been great, but since this incident, she's been snappy at me and lost some of her perkiness and good humor.
Mhm.
She always liked to mix fancy drinks in big mason jars to drink around the house. Now, mind you, I've actually been a bartender before. Her drinks are not fancy. They're
Oh
not even
my
drinks.
god.
She usually just squeezes a lemon and puts some ice on her water. Or she makes green tea and cools it in the fridge with mint or WTV.
This is a 42-year-old man.
And
WTV.
the jars, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Whatever.
And the jars
It's whatever.
usually, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And the jars usually come from some grocery or the other. She saves jars from bulk peanut butter, bean jars, whatever has a big glass jar. She's going to end up saving it to drink from it.
Hell yeah.
If before moving in, I asked about the jars it's because I thought it's really strange. I mean, she owns normal glasses. Her justification was that the jars are bigger and therefore she doesn't forget to drink water throughout the day.
Mm.
Oh Lord.
At the
Sorry.
time, I kind of assumed that this was some weight loss thing and she didn't want to actually tell me because she was embarrassed, as she's a little
Oh.
bit chubby, so I let it go. But
God forbid
now
a
I
woman drink
moved
water.
in.
Sorry.
How could
Now
you?
I moved in, the jars were annoying me more and more. She doesn't keep every one of them, but she has like 10 in their own shelf, and it seems like such a stupid waste of space in our small kitchen.
10?
Besides, we have glasses. She doesn't have to drink from a jar. So this earlier this week, I was tidying up the kitchen while she slept in, and I just threw them out. I think the kitchen looks much better. We have much more storage for pots, and she can still prepare her fancy drinks in normal glasses. She was pissed. I've never seen her so mad. Her main point was that the jars never bothered anyone, and it's none of my business. But now I live here too, so I think it is. During the fight, this is where I may be the asshole. I mentioned that it's stupid to want special recipients to just drink flavored water. It's not like it's a cocktail, and she's only doing it to lose weight anyway. She went really quiet at that and walked away from me. I gave her time to get over it, but it's been a few days and she's still moping around, and I noticed she doesn't seem excited about her fancy drinks. That's making me feel kind of bad, but I still think I was in the right to throw out her jars as they were just garbage. Reddit should have just bite the bullet and apologize.
Fuck's
Fuck.
sake. There is so many things wrong with that.
Yeah.
God forbid a woman have interests.
The first sentence was bad enough. The first
Um,
sentence immediately. Okay, let's
There's
unpack
so
it.
many-
Let's unpack it.
42-year-old man goes to live at her place
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't like her jars in her place
It was
and
only
decides
10.
to throw them out.
10 jars. It's nothing.
Well, I
Right.
guess the kitchen was just that small.
There's definitely a few things to unpack. The first being the quotations in this one, like we said in I think it was a few, like two posts ago. The quotations being
with the
that the
rice.
fancy drinks, they are drinks. So saying they're not even drinks, they are. She likes them and she's drinking water. Simple as that. He's come to his own conclusion about her weight, which is clearly a problem he has about her,
Yes.
because why would you bring it up at all? That's insane. And he doubles down on that in the argument, which was crazy. That in itself, ridiculous. God forbid a woman drinks plenty of water during the day. I mean, Jesus.
It's the quotes as well, like the well, I used to be a bartender, and so I'm so much smarter, and I know what a fancy drink
Yeah,
is.
I'm older.
Okay?
I know better. I know what drinks are.
So that's the. She is like 28, like you've got a full frontal lobe,
Yep.
so to speak. But it is a big gap, and that in combination with that I'm so much smart, I was a bartender.
Yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable.
The condescending tone of
Yes,
her
yeah.
enjoying, God forbid. She enjoys, he's like, oh, you know, she's perky and she's humorous and she's a good cook. Okay. Oh, but now she's not perky and she's not funny. But also, I don't even appreciate one very small things that she likes. Like he says she's got good humor and she's a cook, good cook. That's it. And clearly this makes her happy. She likes to mix some very basic healthy drinks. Those are really good for you. Some mint, some lemon water, that's really good for you. She likes doing it. She loves her jars, and she's also being conscious about her own waste because she's reusing jars, which is really, really cool.
Yes.
All of these things about her are really nice traits, really cool traits, and this motherfucker comes in and just pulls all of it down to the ground. Not only is he the
It's also
asshole, but fucking
written-
leave him. Sorry?
It's also written in this perspective of, aren't I just right, guys?
Yeah.
It's the same as that
Yeah.
rice story, where you can
Mm.
clearly see the disrespect he has for the other person.
Yeah, the whole thing is, the
It's not like the
perspective is
Iranian yogurt
disrespectful.
story,
Yeah,
because like that woman actually had like
respect for
admiration,
him. Yes, I
yeah,
agree.
and respect.
Yeah,
There is, you can sense that person's
perspective.
like love for the other one
Couldn't agree
when
more.
writing it. She's also like semi defending him while talking about his hoarding too.
Yeah, for sure.
There's like an actual person who's like curious whether they did the wrong thing there.
Yep, and I
But
can
this
understand
person,
that.
I feel like
Yeah.
he wrote this post just for other people to go clown on her, and then he could like
Yeah.
fucking shove the phone in her face. Look at these people; they think you're stupid too.
Should I bite the bullet and apologize?
Yeah, should I bite the bullet? Because he was so sure. He was so sure
Yeah.
that he doesn't need to bite the bullet.
And he doesn't mean it either. Biting the bullet and apologizing just means I'm going to apologize for the sake of it. So you don't even care. You don't even mean it at all. Even if people tell you that you're an asshole about it. Oh, I'm just going to read the first comment on here. You're the asshole. I get it. I get that you're a guy. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. But you aren't her boss. You aren't her parent. You are the reason Reddit looks at men in their 40s dating women in their 20s and thinks, yep, that's because nobody your own age would put up with that bullshit. She had 10 extra glasses. She wasn't cheating on you or having addiction problems or running up credit card debts she can't pay off. She was drinking out of a jar. If this is what sets you off, you have impossible standards and anger management issues beyond the scope of what people here can help you with. You might consider a therapist. Also, see number 1 above. There was zero reason to bring up her weight during an argument about you throwing out her possessions without her permission, except to chip away at her self-esteem, which is a classic abuser sign. See number 1 above. You're the asshole also for posting this, knowing she reads relationship stuff here and referring again to her being chubby. Her weight has nothing to do with you throwing out her shit, or whether she should need permission for some idiot almost old enough to be her father before deciding what glass she is allowed to drink out of as an adult in her own home. Hurting her self-esteem? Check. Publicly humiliating her? Check. Being obsessively controlling? Check. There you go. Simple as that.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next one's going to sting.
Okay. This one's my read. Oh. Okay, I read the title.
Lord. Wait,
Alright.
can I read this one?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Sure
go
thing.
ahead.
Okay. Am I the asshole for deleting my son's Minecraft world? I have 2 children, a 9-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. My son had a Minecraft world where he built quite an impressive castle on an island, which he was very proud to show me. Since school was cancelled, he's had some issues waking up on time. He's supposed to wake up at 7 each morning, but for the past month he's been sleeping in until about 9 or 10. I always set an alarm for him, but he sleeps right through it. I don't wake him up because waking himself up is a skill that he needs to learn. I told him about 2 weeks ago that there are going to be consequences for him if he continues to sleep in every morning. At first he understood and was waking up on time every morning, but for the past week or so he's fallen back into old habits. I told him yesterday that this is his final warning. Today he slept in until 11. So I followed through with my warning and I went on the computer and deleted his favourite Minecraft world. I also took away computer privileges for the next month. When I told him, he started screaming and crying. He told me that he spent a whole year working on that world and he's very distraught and he's never going to see it again. He's been crying and sobbing throughout the day and has refused to eat any of his meals.
Oh, brother.
Fuck.
That kid is depressed.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
A 1-year Minecraft project.
Because he was sleeping in? Because school's cancelled? Why was school cancelled? Oh, it was COVID. It was COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Okay.
People like this don't understand, like, Minecraft is like an art form. I can guarantee you that this, I don't know if it's the mum or the dad, but if this parent went on Minecraft, they could not rebuild what the son had built. It's not easy.
It's a talent.
It's
yeah.
Hours and hours and hours worth of work.
Yeah.
A hobby that he's worked on. It's like if I spent a year doing a painting and then my mum threw it out, that's the equivalent. It's the same thing.
It's the perspective of it's a video game instead of it being an actual art form or something that's actually really healthy for you. This kid is playing Minecraft. He's not doing anything wrong, actually. Like, okay, maybe they want him to be in a routine, but you've got to discuss like consequences. They could have easily taken the computer privileges away. Not delete. That's sadistic at that point. There is a difference between, okay, here's a consequence. You're not allowed to go on the computer. If the parent knew that the computer use was the problem, take that away for a little bit. Not that's actually really, really messed up. Like beyond messed up. I would never forgive someone for doing that, ever.
Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of trust from your child. It's going to end up with this. I know for a fact that in like 10 years, she's gonna have this passive aggressive. It all started over Minecraft kind of conversation at the family reunion. But it's a deep rooted thing.
It means more than that.
It will fester. Yeah, it will fester more because from that point on, the kid will actually start noticing the patterns as well.
Yeah.
Because some things that you usually are like, oh yeah, my mom did this, but like, you know, she's my mom. But after that happens, you
Mm,
start looking at her differently.
it's
Like
the
I
big changer.
guarantee you, yeah.
Mm,
How can you do a year-long Minecraft project?
As
And as
well,
Ellie
she
said, it's
mentioned,
a hobby. It's
yeah,
an
she
art
mentioned
form.
specifically that he was proud of it and showed it to her because he was proud of it.
yeah.
He will never show you
So she
anything he
knew.
enjoys again.
She
Yeah,
knew that
he
he was
he
proud of it, and she used it against him.
yeah.
That's real. There's so many layers to that. Let me just see. I'm going to read the first comment. Parenting is more about finding ways to get your child to succeed than negative punishment. Not only will your goal of having him wake up not be met, you've created additional hardship on your child during these unprecedented times. He's 9. The punishment did not fit the crime. Yes, actually, that's the other thing. This was during COVID. Not only is everyone figuring out what was going on during COVID, this 9-year-old is living through a pandemic. He doesn't fucking know what to do either. This was not a normal situation for anyone. So
Yeah.
to expect your child to really know what to do during this time is also insane. No one knew what really to do. Even teachers didn't know what to do. If you can't wake up, it's because you aren't getting him to bed early enough. Yeah. 9 years old. It's like, yeah. If my mom it's like if I can only imagine the equivalent is my mum crushing my Pokemon. At the time, it would have been Ruby, which I spent a very long time playing on. I mean, not even the equivalent. I don't even think it would be an equivalent, but like putting myself in the shoes of that 9-year-old. I mean, my mum threw away some of my fucking Pokemon teachers, and I still haven't forgiven her for that. Let alone,
I'm just wondering what would be like the boomer equivalent? What's something like you could take from a
setting your
boomer
house
to
on
make
fire.
them understand? Like
Um,
for like an old
Um,
man, I guess like the fixer upper like old car that you keep in
I
your
was about to say
garage.
car. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
like imagine you fucking wake up late night, drive it off a cliff.
yeah. Something that, yeah, because of say it, yeah, like working a car you've been working on, putting it together. Because the time you spend is still the time you spend. Just because one of them may be more physical work doesn't mean that you haven't put so much love and care. That's what comes down to. It's not even you could put time into something and not give a shit about it because you know what, you don't really love it or care about it. It's about the love and the
It's not a good
care.
comparison if you compare the money. It is definitely just like the passion that you put into the
Exactly.
project.
Exactly. It's the love and the care that you put into what you're doing and how much you appreciate it and how much you enjoy doing it. Your passion, exactly what you say. And that's what it comes down to. Um,
For a
genuinely.
9-year-old child, I cannot imagine anything to be more passionate about than Minecraft.
Yeah.
There was
It's
I wasn't
such a cooking game. Yeah.
passionate about anything else when I was 9.
Yeah. And you focus on like one, as children, you do have like things, multiple things you like, but there's always like that one thing you really fixate on as a kid. Everyone has that one thing where it's like, this was my massive thing for years, or maybe it was only a certain amount of time, but you know, it took up a massive amount of your childhood. For me, Pokemon, I know that for sure. Everyone I feel like has something.
Yeah,
For,
yeah. My big Skyrim save.
yeah, exactly. This kid, it was Minecraft. That's
Yeah.
did they comment? Did the original poster?
I'm sure most of these are like old and deleted,
Yeah.
but there are some that like double down.
Yes. Yes. Because I think it's usually like top comments are is when the original poster like respawns.
Yeah. Um the next one, I feel like I should have posted it before that one. Since I was ranking them by severity, I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like this one is less severe
Okay, that's all right.
than the Minecraft one.
Is your turn, Vlad?
No, it's your turn.
Is
Ellie
it?
wrote the last
Oh
one.
yeah. Okay. All right. Am I the asshole for giving my baby girl a big birthday gift? My daughter Steffi just turned 9 on Saturday. She's been asking for a Switch for a while now, and I think she's gotten old enough and mature enough that I can trust her with a big present like that. So the plan was always to give Steffi the Switch at her birthday party, which was the same day. What? Same day as what?
It's her birthday, I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, her
Some
birthday
people have birthday
party was the
parties
same.
on
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
different
yeah. No, yeah,
days.
I get it now. However, that ended up falling through. We ended up not being able to pick up the Switch until Sunday morning. Okay. See, Steffi was invited to her classmate Jolene's party on Sunday, so I figured that since we were still in the party spirit, I would just give Steffi the Switch after cake at Jolene's party. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Nothing more than that. Just the unwrapping and then the spotlight would be right back on Jolene. Besides, the girls are friends, so I figured it wouldn't be a big deal. They're 9, they're old enough to understand. This was an extenuating circumstance, or so I thought. Everything went as I had planned, and I thought it went well. But after the party was over, I got a call from Jolene's mum, essentially asking me what the hell I was thinking, that I was undermining her because she couldn't afford something like a Switch for Jolene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not raised Steffi to even really care about things like how much a present costs. Of course, you wouldn't. Also, Jolene didn't even care because she had numerous new things to play with, and Steffi shared her Switch with her, so it seemed to me like everyone made out well. Jolene's mum also called me petty and a show off. She and I do not like one another, and I wouldn't sugarcoat it, but I put that aside for the kids because our issues aren't their fault, which Jolene's mum is definitely not doing. Husband says he gets where I was coming from, but maybe I should have at least waited until after Jolene's presents were opened so she could have hers first. Oh my god. That's fair, but I'm not sure if that quite makes me an asshole to Jolene. Am I the asshole? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's fucking weird. That's just weird.
Absolutely.
You could have done it at any other time.
What a fucking weirdo.
That's weird. That's just plain old weird thing to do. Do you know
It's
what it's
like, you know,
giving?
when someone proposes at someone else's wedding, that's
Yeah,
what it feels
yeah,
like a similar thing to
Yeah,
me.
that's the
yeah,
exact vibe it gave me. Imagine
yeah,
if fucking you invited me to your birthday party
yeah.
and I show up to announce my big fucking new girlfriend. Isn't that cool? I'm proposing, guys.
Oh my god.
It reminds me of my mum, I think, talked to me about this, and it's, you know how Christmas, you have presents that are from Santa, and then you have presents that are from your parents. There's a big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah.
known it to be that when as a parent you give presents from quote unquote Santa, you give pretty basic gifts. You give the big gifts from you because what you're telling that if people are giving like all the big presents from Santa, it kind of creates this what's the word? Um it makes other children think, why would Santa give this person something amazing and I, a poor person, something very basically
Yeah.
nothing, you know? So yeah, it's obviously people can do what they want, but I think when it comes down to that, yeah, the gifts from Santa should just be like more whimsical, and then the big or expensive or crazy gifts should be from the actual parents themselves, because it does create a a weird dynamic, I would say. It's not the best like comparison, but it just made me think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah, and I can understand 100% where the mum's coming from. It doesn't matter if Jolene, am I the asshole to Jolene? Like, it's a 9-year-old. Why are you even asking that question? You're just the asshole. It's not
Yeah.
at this point, like, it doesn't matter. You're just the asshole in general. Like,
The
that's
way the title itself is written, you can already tell.
my baby girl, a big birthday gift. Like, that's not the context, is it? That's
Mhm.
not the story. That wasn't the issue. That is, and before Jolene got her presents, like, there's so many things where it's like, you took so many steps in this to be a dick.
If I was Jolene, that would make me expect a Switch, because I would assume that it's like, oh, we're gonna play together on our Switches, and it was all planned. That's how I would interpret that
Yeah,
if I was
actually,
like a
that's
9-year-old.
as a kid, that's not even crazy,
Yeah.
for sure. Why couldn't you do this at home with just your daughter? Yeah. Yeah. It seems bizarre. It was too, because it's like, why did it have to be? Just because you were picking it up that morning, why did it have to be at the birthday party?
You could have opened it in the car on the way there. You could
In
have
the
done anything.
car, afterwards, any time. It didn't even have to be, like, in front of Jolene at a party.
Yeah. It
Oh
could have
my
been you
god.
open it. You could bring it, but don't open it there. Because
That's
I know you
just...
said they said like they played on it together. That's fine.
Yeah, because they're friends.
But
Of course they're gonna do that, but
yeah,
still. And, oh,
like you can give it to her on the way, and
yeah.
then they can play Mario Kart when they're there. But not opening it when it's someone else's birthday.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not raised Steffi to even really care about things like that. Yeah, that's giving. I have money, so I don't care to teach my child the differences between people who don't.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you don't need to make it a big deal, but, she doesn't care about things like that. Okay, but poor people do notice these things. Actually, when you do it in front of their fucking face. That's wild.
And it really actually does come to her trying to snob Jolene's mom.
Yeah.
Mm.
It reeks of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the dig of being we don't like each other, but I put that aside for the kids because our issues aren't their fault. And then, which Jolene's mum definitely isn't doing. You didn't need to say that. We can make our own interpretation of that, whether we think she is or not. You trying to double that down just makes you seem like more of an asshole, actually.
Alright. And the next one's going to be a short one.
Oh god.
Okay. Alright.
Am I the asshole for my answer during Truth or Dare? My daughter turned 21 this past weekend. As a quasi-milestone birthday celebration, she decided to have a few friends over to play some drinking games. My wife, 23F, and
Excuse
I
me? Sorry.
bored.
Hold up.
Hold on.
Hold on a second.
Your daughter is 21.
Okay, how old do we think? Okay,
And your
no.
wife?
Yep.
It's a stepmom.
Yep. Oh, well, yeah, we know that.
It's 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, continue.
We were bored and decided to join in. Everything is going well, and then on my turn, one of her friends reads the question, which paraphrased is, if you're in a scenario where you have to choose between only having your child or your spouse in your life, who would you choose? I answered, my spouse. My daughter immediately hit the wall. She said, and on my birthday too, thanks, Dad. She then went on to call her stepmother a child bride / gold digger and basically brought up old divorce grievances between her mother, 47, and I, that we specifically wanted to keep quiet. She also went after the fact that I told my buddy not to hire her for his nonprofit initiative because her stepmother was already on the board and I wasn't going to make my wife work with somebody who doesn't show her any respect. Add on to the fact that her peers weren't using their connections for employment. She then leaves my house and ends up going back to my ex-wife's. My ex-wife calls me and calls me a terrible father, even though I decided to host my daughter's get-together last minute because the apartment her mom moved into after divorce was too small. Throughout the course of the evening, a lot of inappropriate things were said, and I was merely playing by the game's rules. Am I the asshole? I feel like my daughter was intending to explode over old grievances and was looking for any trigger.
Right.
Wait. Wife is 23. How long have they been together? If they are already married now.
Yeah.
At 23? Old grievances. Old grievances implies they've been together for years.
Yeah. I understand the daughter lashing out at the wife, but I feel that the wife is probably also a victim in this scenario.
Yeah.
Somehow, something tells me that she might be.
I understand completely. Yeah, I get it. The biggest asshole in this entire scenario, and the only asshole, is the dad. Because
Yeah.
who the fuck, and I will stand by this, your child always should come first.
Absolutely.
That's what it comes down to. Unless, I don't know, you've never met your child in your life or something. It doesn't count. Like in a situation where you have children, you have raised, you love your child, whatever, they come first. That's who comes first. That's
Now,
just how it should be.
What's also impressive is that he didn't hire her for the nonprofit initiative because his wife was already on it,
Yep.
and he wasn't going to let her work with somebody who doesn't respect her. And imagine being 21 years fucking old and calling a 23-year-old your stepmom.
That's
Like,
just.
you're not a stepmom, dude.
That's a stepsister, bro.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
you're a roommate.
I don't even know what to say because what the fuck? This is actually really messed up. This guy's
The
gonna
I
age
be
know.
after the
around
relationship already throws the whole story off so hard.
the
Yeah.
moment
I
I
know-
saw that.
I know that it's called Truth or Dare, and he's already the asshole for that being the truth. But
Yes.
even though it's called Truth or Dare, no one's got a gun to your head. You can lie.
Yeah, okay, maybe
you
deep
can
down
lie.
you feel that way. Don't say it.
Yeah.
Maybe deep down. I don't know why you would feel that way deep down. I think that's fucking weird. But
That's already
if
fucked up.
you
Yeah.
do, wow. Yeah, I was just playing by the rules of the game. Shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you on about? You are like 50 years old. I was just playing Truth or Dare. I was just playing by the rules. You fucking baby. Holy shit.
Yeah, I understand why your wife wanted to play it because she's the same fucking age as your kid.
That's what I was going to say too. I was like, yeah, do you know what's weird? Is the whole group of friends there look normal and then there's one old man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Genuinely such a weird ass guy. And what's the point of even posting this? Like, if you can't tell that you're the asshole in this situation to begin with.
23 wife. How long have they been together? Your child comes first, always. Grown-ass men do not play Truth or Dare with their kids. That was also weird. Your wife was fine to play. She's their age and not related to them.
Yeah, she was their age. She's literally hanging out with her age group.
Someone
and
commented.
Then there's a weird ass old man is in the crowd as well.
Evil Larry. Someone literally just quoted, "My daughter turned 21 this past weekend. My wife 23F. You're the asshole."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even need to read anything else.
We didn't. We actually didn't. Wrong answer, first of all. Secondly, she's right to be grossed out by you.
The next one's also on the same sort of level.
I want to know how old she was when they got together because I'm worried about the freaking wife too. Okay, whose turn is it?
Yours.
Okay. All right. Am I the asshole for not liking how my girlfriend dresses for work? Is she a fucking firefighter? All right. So I, 43 male, don't think I'm in the wrong here. Well, because why would you? But my mother is very angry at me.
Hey, you'll get them.
Okay. Sorry. My mother's very angry at me, and my best friend said I was a horrible person for saying what I did, and I'd be lucky if my girlfriend didn't put me out with the garbage since I decided I wanted to act like trash. My girlfriend, 34 female, is a preschool teacher, and for some reason I can't explain, she dresses like Miss Frizzle. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, immediately. How yes. Okay, love Miss
I
Frizzle.
love her.
Like a dress with the pattern of whatever they are studying. Oh my god!
That's really cute.
That's so fucking
Nice.
sweet. She's a preschool teacher and she's making even her clothing interactive for the children. This is the coolest person. She
is
makes
clearly very passionate.
this is
She
getting
makes
better. She
them
makes
herself.
a lot of them herself, now including matching masks. This just gets better. Like, is this person trying to make us fall in love with her? The kids love it, and the parents seem to think it's great. Yeah, I don't like the amount of attention she gets, honestly. Wow, wow. All right. I'd prefer if she came home and changed before running any errands. On Friday, she helped my mum with something after work and she was still in her weird dress. I have told her before I don't like when she dresses that way, but she tells me I don't have to like it, but I have no right to tell her how to dress. Plain and simple. I was upset she went out like that with my mother and told her that my mum said she was embarrassed and to ask that she please not dress like that again if they're going out. I was not expecting her to call my mum and apologize. When my mum asked what she meant, she told her what I said. My mum was furious, explained she doesn't have a problem with how my girlfriend dresses and thinks it's great she spends extra time doing things to engage her students. My mum then yelled at me for lying to my girlfriend and trying to throw her under the bus because I was being an insecure jerk. This is a 43-year-old man.
Yeah.
A grown-ass
43.
man.
My girlfriend
Peaked
and
in high
I,
school.
yeah, and never developed any brain cells. My girlfriend and I got into a huge fight. I said she should be embarrassed to be seen in public like that. She said that the only thing she was embarrassed by was me. She hasn't spoken to me or done anything for me since. My friend said I was horrible and called me trash. I shouldn't have lied, but I think my girlfriend should take what I think about her clothes into consideration, and I'm not sorry for expecting her to dress more appropriately in public. Am I really such an asshole here? Edit. I'm sure you will all be pleased to know we broke up tonight. She said I'm too controlling and narrow-minded, so she broke up with me.
Yippee!
It wasn't a moment we needed to even think about this. So
Yeah, we already knew this was gonna fall apart.
She
But
is
the fact
very
is,
clearly
he's
very
describing
passionate.
like the sweetest person out there.
yep,
Like the way she even fucking called the mom to apologize.
she apologized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really just screams that this is like a very nice person who takes her job very seriously.
And even considers
The
what people are
dress is the
saying.
mask. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Attention to detail. Oh, wow. And being a preschool teacher in itself, like, what a lovely, lovely person.
And she makes them herself as well.
And then
That's
she
Yeah.
even said, like, when he told her, I don't like the way she dresses, she took it well. She said, you don't have to like it, but you can't tell me how to dress, and left it as that. She didn't tell him,
Yeah.
like, fuck off, you dumb bitch, even though she should have. She didn't say that because she was being really respectful and very to the point. You don't have to like it. And he kept pushing and he lied. That was insane. Everyone in his, oh, am I the asshole? Every person in my life has told me I'm a piece of trash. But am I?
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of a validation this person saw on like Reddit of all
Sure, you will
places.
all be pleased to know.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
this one's going straight for the incel boards. Because he literally felt insecure that she's making dresses for children.
Yep.
And he was like, why isn't she making fucking corsets for me?
Good lord.
Wow. You need to go out looking like a burlesque dancer with my mother.
The genuine fucking loser behavior, and the fact that this person made it so far
Mm.
in his life without having to reevaluate that is actually scary. Like that person has a right to vote.
43-year-old man. Mummy's mad at me. You have the coolest girlfriend. You had the coolest girlfriend in the world at 43 years old. 10 years younger than you, mind you, and still fucked it. I hope she finds peace in her life.
I hope
Well,
she dates a woman.
She has it. I can
Actually-
tell that. She has it already, obviously, but still.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
certain.
Well, yeah. But you know, if she seeks another relationship, that God forbid that person will absolutely treasure her for the person she is, for the Miss Frizzle she is.
Real.
Insane. That's crazy.
I'd say this one at least had a very good ending.
Oh,
Yeah.
the update. Thank you for letting us know, actually, because
It would have been better if he reflected on it in some way, but this
Uh,
really does feel like not to diagnose or anything, but sort of
mm,
like a little narcissistic there, where it's just
yeah.
not even capable of seeing where you went wrong. When
She
literally
said,
everyone
yeah,
tells you you're wrong, and you're
at that point.
still not capable of seeing how you trying to be controlling of somebody else for doing literally the sweetest little thing on earth. It's not like
Mm.
she was doing heroin or something.
Yeah. It's not even like she was dressing like I don't know, maybe say for instance they didn't like that she dressed provocatively or something. Not that that's any of his business, but maybe it's like, okay, maybe this was inappropriate in the setting. No, there was nothing inappropriate about anything that she was doing ever, not once. Not a single time in any capacity in any universe. And lying to the mum as a grown man. How old is the mum? In her like 60s?
Too old for that. Yeah.
And he's lying to his 60-year-old mother? Oh my, it doesn't get more pathetic than that.
Literally.
I can only imagine that she probably still talks to his mum and that neither
Yeah.
of them really talk to him. Like, I imagine that she gets along with the mum just fine. Like, they would go out and do stuff. What did they do? They were going out for errands or something. What did he say it was?
Did
Help
he
my mum
say?
with something after work. Yeah, so she's even going out and helping his mum. What's he fucking doing? All he's this
Whining.
Miss Frizzle
Whining.
dresses. Oh my god, I need to sit here all day thinking about this. Fucking watching a Magic School Bus all day long.
He
Red
seems
hot,
like the kind of
angry.
person who downloads those fucking big titty insect mods for Helldivers.
Oh man. Okay.
I can't even look at my wife sexually in those fucking preschool dresses. What the fuck, dude? What's wrong with her? She's the problem.
Wow.
The next one's luckily like kind of goofy.
Okay.
Personally, I ended up having quite a laugh at this one.
All right. I think this is yours.
Yep.
Sweet.
Am I the asshole for using money we quote unquote earmarked for our 6-month-old's college fund to buy back the exact 1972 Ford Bronco I owned as a teenager? So how to begin with this? I realize that on paper I am totally the asshole, but when you dig deeper into my motivations, I'm hoping it's more of a gray area than anything else, and maybe even I did the right thing. When I was a teenager, my dad bought me a classic 1972 Ford Bronco. It was my true passion, and I don't recall a memory from high school that somehow doesn't involve that truck. Plus, my dad and I would have spent hours and hours working on it together. And we went through that especially father son rough patch when I was a teenager, and it was always that Bronco that brought us back together. I made a huge mistake and sold the truck when I turned 19, and my dad died of a heart attack 2 months later. So, while not logical, I've always felt a karmic connection between the two events. We had a baby in early February. She is our first and the light of my life. My wife is doing well, but she's back at work and she's realized that she hates all the daycares we've tried and really wants to be a stay at home mom. And plus, she's still very hormonal from delivery, lack of sleep and breastfeeding. So she's having a rough time and is angry a lot. I guess I need to say this. 2 weeks ago, I was driving through our town's warehouse district and saw a Bronco that was pretty beat up but resembled mine. I stopped just for nostalgia's sake, and the owner came out and let me take a look inside. My dad and I had glued a wheat penny under the dash as a sort of a security measure to just sort of checked, and god damn it, if it wasn't my Bronco. I asked him if he'd ever consider selling it. He said actually someone was in the I-25 as we spoke from Colorado to buy it for $21,000. I freaked out and asked him if I could buy it right then and there for 23,000. He said if I could come up with the cash, yes. I had been procrastinating setting up a 529, so I had 12,000 in savings that my wife's parents had given us. I maxed out my credit card to Venmo, and my mom brought down the check for $4,000, and I fucking drove away in my old car. It was like a dream come true, like a literal dream come true. It needs a lot of work I can't afford right now, but it's mine. Like in my driveway, mine. Again, I can't even describe what a joy this is. My wife and her parents are furious with me. They feel I was deceptive, that a real man would have sacrificed anything and everything so my wife could go stay at home with his kids, and that's setting aside that they gave us the money for a college fund. My point is, my daughter is only 6 months old. We have 18 years to set up a college fund of her, but this Bronco means everything to me. And if I wouldn't have acted, it would have been gone forever. Now it can be that same connection between me and my kids. To me, it's the literal meaning of happiness. Like I said, on paper, asshole. Whole story, gray area. How do you guys see it? Edit one. Had no idea this would go on. He's just talking about the amount of comments he gets,
Yeah.
but the first edit is important. I had no idea this would go so one way. I guess I messed up. I talked with my mom, and she's basically going to buy the Bronco from me in order to refill the college fund and pay off the credit card. The 4K will be a gift, and she's going to give me whatever I need to restore it. She's always been awesome to me, and she's rather the money be spent now than wait for me and my sister's inheritance. Sorry to get everyone so mad at me. I was thinking with my emotions and acted badly.
Okay.
And then uh, he also says, yeah, edit two. Are the mommy bailed you out comments really necessary? I found a solution, and it's coming from me and my sister's inheritance, so it's not like I'm not paying for it on my own eventually. He also lied to his. Oh yeah. In the morning, I couldn't figure out why I was getting so many private messages, but I guess it must be locked now. I didn't tell my wife that my mom bailed me out and lied and said I found a buyer for the Bronco. I'll figure out how to cross that bridge when I get there, but my wife was so relieved that I had come to my senses. I don't want to disappoint her. It's going to take all my lying skills to pull this one off over the next few years.
Okay. So,
one thing I need to mention before anything, 23,000 for a 1972 Ford Bronco?
I have to say, I think that person was fibbing. It's pretty classic move.
Yeah, in mint condition, it's like
Yeah. Okay.
$6,000.
Yeah. So I just don't understand. This guy didn't do any research on how much it was worth at that time. This person was like, "Oh, yep, someone's coming right now, conveniently to buy it for this amount of money." Tried his luck, and this fucking idiot fell for it and said, "Yep, I'm gonna spend 23,000." Didn't try
Not
to
only did he
barter
go like
or
fucking 3.5 times over market value for a
Yeah.
pristine 1972 Ford Bronco.
Yeah.
This was a beat up piece of trash Ford
It needs
Bronco.
restoring. That's insane. Like, I have to say, I can understand something meaning that much to you, something that you've let get away when you were younger. I can understand it, but the decisions you made, like the decisions he made after, that's different. Like, okay, maybe he really wanted it. Okay, this let me do my research. Maybe I can pull this out. Maybe I could have asked my mum for some money if I were paying a lot less, maybe what it was actually worth, and could have justified it and worked really hard and still put the wife first at the same time. Like, it would have been possible to do both, but this fucking idiot didn't think about any of that and just went straight in and made a very, very insane decision for a lot
only
of
that,
money.
The title, "The Money We Are Earmarked," makes it sound like him and his wife. That was $10,000 that
Was it
his
12?
in-laws.
12,000.
Was it 10 or 12?
Yeah.
12,000 his in-laws gave
Yes,
for
that's
the
right.
college fund.
The
It wasn't
in-laws
money
gave.
he put aside
Yep.
for the college fund.
None of that was his money.
Gifted money.
Yep. It wasn't his money to touch at
Also,
all.
if I understand it being very sentimental,
Yeah.
if I was in that position, personally, I would have pulled the penny off from under the dash, and I would have kept that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
It was
I
very
would have at
easy
least
to.
tried to haggle it. I feel like,
Yeah.
The stakes are high. Like, let's assume I need it, right? I need it
Mm.
real bad.
Mm.
What I have on me right now, that is my budget. At no point would I ever consider my daughter's future college fund
No, not
to be
that.
money that I'm gonna put up for this.
No.
Never in a million years. No matter how fucking important it is
Mm.
to me personally, no matter the
It's not yours
sentimental
to
value. I
touch.
have things.
No.
Yeah, I have things that have this sentimental value to me.
Yeah.
But if we had saved up like a little Pookie fund, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in case something happens, for a rainy day and what have you. And suddenly the fund is empty, drained,
Mm.
because I found like a luxury watch that's really cool and it resonates with me. That's a
Good
very
lord.
dickish move. Because like I know
Yeah.
technically, right, it's not I'm comparing a shared account in their sense that like he justifies it by saying that, well, we still got 18 years to save up.
Mm.
But that's really not a good justification
Yeah.
considering, college costs and what have you. That shit's gonna
Yeah.
go up and up and up. 12,000 is nowhere
Yeah.
near enough for college.
As well, with a newborn child, it's extremely irresponsible to put yourself into
Yep.
credit card debt for something that you
Yeah.
don't need.
The credit card debt is crazy, and the
Especially in
icing on top.
America. Crazy.
The icing on top is the lying. That's what
Yeah.
did it for me. I was like, okay, there is definitely a way out of it. Your mum has freaking bailed you out. You get the freaking car. It's great that you have someone that is willing to do that after you've made a massive mistake. But now you're lying, and that's the fucking nail in the coffin. After all of that, you've gone and you're saying, I'm going to have to lie for like 5 years. No,
Yeah.
that this is past the point. Your wife was actually going to not forgive you, but at least move forward with this, with
Yeah.
whatever's happened, and try to hopefully help you to try and fix your fuck up. She wasn't like, you know what, I'm fucking leaving you. No, like, okay, they've got a new baby, and you need to fix what you've fucking done. It was pretty much fixed. Like the mum was paying for it, literally bailing him out, and he still decided to lie. After all that.
As well, I don't think the mum should have bailed him out, but I do understand why she did, because I would assume that the car likely has sentimental value
to her,
as well.
I agree with that. I think that's also the other thing is, yeah, I mean, he'd obviously died like young, a lot younger than he should have. Like he was 19 when the dad passed away. So absolutely, yeah, that's pretty hard on the mum, and she would have been around when they worked on that car for years and whatnot. So I completely understand that she would have gone, okay, actually, this is something that I'm okay with, even though he fucked up and made the bad decision. I get it. I do get it. It doesn't make it okay, but I understand. And then he still, unfortunately, fucked it up.
Yeah.
So
you had an angel come in and fucking save you from the worst mistake you've ever made, and you still fucked it up again.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I was like, okay, it can be repaired to a point. This all can, and then the edit was, you know what, I lied, and I'm going to be lying about it. So, wow. That's it.
Just the idea of coming home and telling your loved one our life savings are gone. But look at this shitty Bronco.
If I read this story to my mum, Ellie, you already know. Do you know this? My mum hates Fords.
Yes, of course.
If I told this story to my mum, she would be screaming. My mum hates Fords. She refuses to like drive in a Ford, like and if someone's driving, like she will be like, she's mad. She hates them so much.
Absolutely.
If someone did this, she'd probably shoot them point blank in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? She would be in the right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. That's crazy. $23,000
for a 1972 beater.
I'm surprised it was even running. Wow. Okay.
The next one was a little there's it kind of relates to the previous story
Right.
that you read. It's kind of in the same vibe.
Okay. This is my one. All right. Am I the asshole for sending my family an angry email because they still speak to my ex-husband even have him over, especially in light of his present relationship with a girl 20 years younger than him? Ooh. All right. Okay. So basic background is I'm 42, two kids aged 14 and 12, and signed divorce papers in April after almost 2 years of it being drug out trying to get my fair share from him. The details of why are not important, but I'm angry, embarrassed, lost, and sad any given moment of the day. A lot of this has to do with feeling like I've been replaced by a 23-year-old surfing instructor who is everything I'm not. Okay. My husband and kids claims
Oh,
that what?
sorry, I read ahead.
My husband and kids claims that she is just his friend and helping him learn his lifelong desire to surf. But Jesus Christ, give me a break. His lifelong desire to surf. What the fuck? Okay. My husband has primary custody because he had better lawyers who were able to manipulate some minor missteps on my part into the courts, seeing them as a huge deal. Okay. Okay, interesting. So he has primary custody. So this past weekend, I picked up the kids and said we were going to visit my parents. They said they would rather use their season passes to SeaWorld since they spent all weekend with my parents and Aunt Stacy and Uncle Brian, my brother and sister who I didn't even know were in town. I was like, "Your dad took you?" They said yes, that my parents had invited him over to see everyone. I was devastated because while I don't get along with my brother and sister and my mum, she doesn't get along with her brother, sister, and her mum. Oh, wow. This is very interesting so far. They let my ex-husband, you mean the father of the children, know they were coming and not me. I can't even let that sink in without tears forming. I sort of gestured that, oh, and let me guess, Ms. Surf Instructor was there too. My daughter said, well, actually, we all went to her house in Ocean Beach because she gave Stacy and Brian lessons after hours. That included my mum and dad. I was so devastated, I took the kids back home and just went home and cried for an hour. When I was done, I sent a furious email to my entire family how inappropriate they had all and and then not only hanging out with my ex for an entire weekend, but his little chippy as well is a massive slap in the face. And the fact they didn't even tell they were in town, let alone invite me, makes me feel so alone. My mum was the only one to respond, and she basically said, yes, it was rude. We didn't tell you Stacy and Brian were here, and we shouldn't have done that. But we didn't divorce Bradley, and we still see him as a son. This email, along with your behavior over the last 5 years, should really give you insight into why we might not want you at family events. In so many words, she called me asshole for sending the email. Was I? Let's go back to the top. The
Right?
details of why are not important.
I think they might
Sounds
be.
like they might
I
be.
think they're the most important part of the fucking story.
I think that might be very important to know why. Because it sounds like your whole family have 5 years of turmoil with you.
Yeah. And not only that, you lost custody, which sometimes that can be.
I get
Well,
it. I get it. Sometimes it is.
You need to
Okay.
fuck up real bad if you're a
Yeah.
mother who lost custody.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see that.
Sometimes it can be unjust, but
It can
the
be,
fact
but
that you won't
with the rest of the
say what
story.
you did, yeah, the fact you won't say what you did that led to
Mm.
that leads me to believe that perhaps you deserved it.
And yeah, with the context of the whole story, the family don't even talk to her.
Yep.
She doesn't get along with her brother and sister and mother, but they all hang out with the dad, who has primary custody of their grandchildren and niece and nephew, whatever. Yeah, pretty much says it all. And all of it is to do with, let's go back again to the top. 23-year-old surfing instructor who is everything I'm not. Lots of problems going on. Yeah, she was teaching the parents how to surf and the kids and the whole family. Okay. There's no indication that he is dating her. There actually isn't. I don't even. Who knows? This
Yeah,
fucking
there is her suspicion. Yeah, the only
just her
thing that
suspicion.
indicates it slightly, yeah, is give me a break. That whole part. But
Yeah,
also, in addition to that, uh, when she had custody of the children and had plans to hang out with them,
she just
instead of
cried.
hanging out with them, she drove back home and cried.
Mm, yeah,
I think this is a very unstable person.
yeah. Insecure, very insecure.
Very much. It
I,
screams that.
yeah. Also, it seems
Even
like
through her writing is so confused and jumbled.
yeah,
The
she's
first
not
time I
very
found the
literate.
story,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was thinking that she was already emotional while writing this.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing the whole reason she wrote this is she was looking for even like some semblance of validation
Mm.
for these
Yeah.
completely insane
As
feelings.
well, even if they weren't, her family didn't like the ex-husband. If he's got primary custody, they're obviously going to hang out with him. Otherwise, they'd never see their grandchildren.
Yeah, yeah. They still have to play nice with the
Yeah.
fucking parent who has primary custody. The other thing is there was no indication that he's dating the surfer because it says here we all went to her house in Ocean Beach because she gave Stacy and Brian lessons. Not we went back to. There's no indication she was even
Yeah.
there. It's we went to her house and all she's been doing is teaching them how to surf. That's all we know. This person is literally doing what she says she does. Surf instructor. Yeah, sounds like she's fucking instructing.
Right.
Oh, oh.
But when I found this post, I had to reread it like multiple times. Because I was so fucking confused by the writing and the
Yeah,
whole just like
yeah.
this. I found it to be so fucking interesting.
Jumbled.
Yeah.
Probably you're the asshole. I feel like there's some curating of information here. Reading between the lines. Father has primary custody. You don't get along with your family. Followed the news. You punished your kids by doing nothing with them instead of making alternate plans. Your family highlighted your behavior for over 5 years as being the problem. There may be more to the context, but it seems like you might need to take a look at your pattern of behaviors and actions. It's time to accept some personal responsibility. ETA, you had an affair. See, that would be known as curating. Where's that? She had an affair?
I'm guessing there is some
Oh,
sort of an update somewhere in some other thread.
it says, for everyone who can't figure out how I know, try clicking on the username and reading multiple comments by OP on the topic. So I'm guessing they posted to another board about.
I see.
Oh, the account's suspended, so you can't see now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so she had an affair. Okay.
Yeah.
Insecure, then. Yep.
Yeah,
Very.
absolutely.
Yeah. Sweetheart, if the court system, your ex-husband, your kids, your parents, and your siblings say you aren't right, well, maybe you need some self-reflection. OP, you seem a bit unhinged. I think perhaps professional help may be more suitable. Yeah. Yeah.
Next one's going to be infuriating.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure this one's in Australia.
It would be
But
infuriating.
I'm gonna read it with a southern accent because that sounds more appropriate.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
I swear to God.
Am I the asshole
my
for
God.
canceling my daughter's therapy because she has bad grades?
What the fuck? The fuck?
My daughter, 14, had anxiety problems ever since she was little, but it was not severe. 3 months ago, my daughter changed drastically. She stopped eating, talking to us, or her friends, and her marks dropped. We were really concerned, and her teacher strongly suggested we take her to therapy, which we did, and she was diagnosed with severe depression and social anxiety, which was expected. The therapy sessions look like they helped her well. In the first month, she has already began making progress and started talking to us and her friends again, and is eating whatever her mother's cooking. We were really happy to see this, and every day she would get better and better. The thing is, her marks did not. They are terrible, and she ended up barely passing the year. This is what infuriated me and made me cancel her therapy sessions. I know to some it might sound terrible, but paying $120 per session and seeing no progress in her marks makes me feel like I am seriously wasting my money. Now that she returned back to normal,
Mm.
not only that, but since she really enjoys going to therapy, I think telling her that she needs to get higher marks to continue her therapy sessions will motivate her to study harder and thus score better marks. My wife disagrees with my logic, and we had a massive argument because of it, which ended up with her saying that she is going to pay from her money, which hurt me since I see my and her money as ours. My daughter is also really upset on me and was begging me to keep her therapy sessions, but I think I'm going to stick with this plan. Am I the asshole here?
Yeah,
Okay.
therapy is not like
A
well, it
privilege
is a
is
privilege,
it is, yeah,
but
but
it's
it's not a hobby.
not
It's not a
a
hobby.
thing you can take away. It's not. It shouldn't be a privilege. It is because it's expensive, but uh, it, you can't just
Wow.
take it away. That's not how it works.
Wow.
No, but she went back to normal.
Yeah, back to normal,
No.
don't you know?
Yeah.
She went
Okay.
back to normal, seeing no
If her,
progress in her marks, but she
yeah.
progressed in every other capacity. Back to
The
Yeah,
normal.
well, you see, therapy is like crack, right? Once I take it away, she's gonna start tweaking, and once I tell her that she needs better grades to go
Ding ding
back
ding.
to her therapy crack, of course, it's going to raise productivity. How
Mm.
could it
yeah, of
not?
course.
It's a foolproof plan, not the asshole.
I hate to say I don't think a lot of parents understand this, but in this story, the least important thing is her fucking grades.
Yeah.
The least important thing
Yeah.
is her grades. It does not matter
You
what she gets,
build her
what
up,
grade she
it
gets.
will get better eventually, but if you
Yeah.
tear it down, it will never get better. That's never going to be the priority.
She'll
Yeah,
also,
but
even
how do
though
I
she,
how do I talk about my daughter at the golf club with all my other boomer friends? If she has the lowest grades out of all of them, I feel like I raised a failure.
it's I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry.
You're good.
I don't care that she's happy. I care that she's smart. I care that she's
Oh,
successful.
I remember.
I want somebody to pay for my retirement home.
It's likely that even if it's resolved or whatever, her anxiety is going to get worse because she feels she's going to be paranoid that at any given moment
Punished.
she's going to get her therapy taken away.
She has
Oh yeah, all
anxiety.
jokes aside, that trust that you lost by canceling the therapy and
Mm.
explaining yourself, it's going to be really hard to get that back. I
Yeah.
understand, like in the update, he does actually mention that he didn't realize this
Yeah.
was so serious,
He
and
takes a
he
bit of
was
accountability.
ignorant. Yeah,
Mm.
he takes accountability. He talked he talked over with his wife, and the therapy will continue. They will
Mm.
go take her back to therapy. But the thing is that that has already caused a lot of damage,
Irreparable
significant
damage.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say irreparable. It's very important to realize your mistakes
I
and
know,
to
but it's a
be
14-year-old
able
kid.
to. I still hope I
I'd
feel
hope.
like there can be
Yeah.
forgiveness there. Yeah,
I would
like
hope, but it is
yeah, I
tough.
wouldn't class this immediately as irreparable.
Mm.
I'm just going to say that it's going to be very hard to get that trust back.
I don't think that that means that the trust couldn't be built back, but I do think that the damage itself is partially irreparable. I think that that will always stick with her in some way. But I can't speak on the kid. I couldn't. I would just think that it would, if it were me, it would stick with me even in a small way forever, even if it was a little bit. She's got fucking anxiety, and you're gonna make her so much more paranoid that you're taking away something that is just keeping her afloat and getting her better. Like, that's insane to me. That's just, I just don't understand.
Yeah, this one's a really ignorant post. I'm glad
Mm,
it has a happy ending, more or less.
mm.
But to even go to such lengths.
Yeah. Yeah, using a mental health as punishment.
It's essentially this I deleted my kid's Minecraft world, but taken to like a whole new extreme.
Yeah.
This isn't even like this isn't taking somebody the kid enjoys. It's taking somebody the kid needs.
Yeah. And you saw how terrible. You saw your child go through such a terrible time, not eating, talking to friends, or anything. Like, you saw them go through severe depression and anxiety. You watched it happen. Then you watched therapy helping this person slowly but surely come back to life again. And you thought, yep, I'm going to take that away. That's really crazy. Because it's not a matter of thinking, okay, like, taking away therapy. You saw it. You saw it happen. All of it. You've been there through all of it and still made that decision. That's what's crazy. 14 is so young as well. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
so the next one is going to be like an archive, so it's going to look a little different.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Am I the asshole for telling my in-laws exactly where my husband was when I was in labor? Am I the asshole for telling my in-laws exactly where my husband was? Okay. I gave birth to my son 10 weeks ago. I went through exhausting period while I was nearing my due date. I was experiencing discomfort and wanted my husband by my side when I go into labor, but he'd go out every night to hang out at his friend's place and watch football games. Okay. I suggested that he play or watch games at home just in case, but he was having none of it and said he had to attend game night at his brother and friend's place along with his buddies. He said they had certain, how can I describe it, rituals when watching a game, and he can't enjoy doing it at home or anywhere else. The night of our son's birth, my water broke while my husband was at his buddy's place watching a game. I called him and told him to get home and take me to the hospital. He said he was coming, but he didn't. Oh my fucking God. Okay. I ended up calling my sister, she lives nearby, and she took me to the hospital. My husband showed up 2 hours later after he kept calling asking if I was still in labor and that he was almost done watching the game. He was able to make it on time for our son's birth, but I was furious with him, mad and disappointed. He apologized profoundly and had been working on regaining my trust and respect for him after what he's done. He's otherwise very supportive and involved in our son's care. Last night, I was at my in-laws' house for dinner and we were talking about my son's birth date. My husband suddenly started recalling what happened that night and basically started lying about driving me to the hospital. Waiting and feeling stressed out and standing on his feet for so long without food or even water. I was confused. I said, no, none of this is true. None of this happened. In fact, he was watching a game when I went into labor and I wanted him to drive me to the hospital, but didn't show up till 2 hours later. My mother-in-law, who takes no shit from anybody and whom everyone fears, lost it on him, yelling, asking him if this was true, and he kept quiet. She started berating him left and right, telling him to sit down and shut up when he stood up to argue, then told him to stand up when he was sitting, arguing. Everyone was laughing at how she basically treated him as if he was a boy in trouble. She kept saying, shame, shame, shame on you. This is not how I raise my children to treat their wives. Jordan, you are a disgrace, and I'm disappointed because of what I heard about you. He literally swallowed every bit of his mother's berating and didn't say anything till we got home, where he went nuts saying I made him look neglectful, a bad husband and father, by telling the family about where he was and said I shouldn't have said anything, but I argued it wasn't okay for him to lie and play hero in front of his parents. He said I just caused a rift between him and his family and asked if I was happy now. Am I the asshole?
No.
He went nuts saying I made him look neglectful, a bad husband and father, by telling the truth.
Newborn son.
By telling the truth, I made him look. You mean you were neglectful, a bad husband and father?
I feel a lot of men don't
think.
Understand. She could, yeah. She could have died that day easily.
I was about to say that
easily
when he didn't show up. I was like, that's like fucking attempted murder. or something, because your wife, you knew that, for starters, they knew that she was nearing her due date. For starters, okay, I'm going into labor. My water has broke. Take me to the hospital. Actually, no. And you know what? She could have died.
Yep.
She could have. That is a very well and known thing that happens still to this day. Women still die during childbirth for any reason, even when they are taken to the hospital, let alone not being taken to the hospital. So she calls her sister, who lives nearby. Can you take me to the hospital? What the fuck? Edit to say that he's done similar things in the past since he's a major enthusiast of football and hockey, but I didn't expect it to get to that. Also, this is not our first baby. We have a 4-year-old son.
What are the fucking rituals? I feel like he's doing drugs or something.
No,
or
she needs to leave him.
heavily.
That's actually, you cannot, that is not someone you could trust. Not only did he not take to her giving birth, oh my fucking god, and then lies about it in front of her, saying that he took her, and then makes it seem like, oh, I didn't eat or drink. You were fucking watching football at your friend's house. What
Probably
the fuck?
drunk, drove to the hospital too.
Yep.
But this is a very strong case of both are idiots. I wouldn't say she's the asshole, definitely not.
Yeah.
But she's definitely an idiot because, fool me once. This is your second baby?
Yeah. 4-year-olds.
He's more immature than his children.
Yeah.
And you know that.
And he's done similar things in the past. At this point, I think it comes to like, at this point, if you don't leave him, you're an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not an asshole, but you're definitely an idiot.
Yeah.
Imagine having fucking Homer Simpson as your husband. Actually, no. Homer Simpson does what's right in the end. He's stupid, but he does the right thing.
Yeah. I think it's easy to say that because it's like, we're looking from the outside, but at the same time, like, we don't, this woman literally has a newborn baby and a 4-year-old son. Oh, it's 3 years ago now, but 2 very small children. It's not that easy to leave someone. Unfortunately, it's not. So, I don't know. He's the asshole, and that's all I can say. There's nothing more to it than that. Your husband thought a football game was more important than you being in labor. He looked like a neglectful husband and father because he was being neglectful. If he wants people to think better of him, then he should change his behavior. Yelling at you shows he's not sorry and would rather blame you than accept the consequences. Yeah, he took it from his mum and then lashed out at her at home. Right.
Which, once again, a very, very familiar pattern to a lot of these stories where the guys are assholes is they're like huge mama's boys.
Yeah. And then they'll lash out.
And they need their mom to show them they're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he blamed her.
You
caused a rift between me and my family, not my behavior.
That, I probably would have gone right back to his mom's house and told her exactly what he did when he got home.
Yeah, and I would have been petty. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't learn though. They don't. A lot of the time, it's just, okay, I'm going to take this from her and I'm going to tell you, actually, it's your fucking fault for causing the rift, for telling the truth. That it's such an insane thing to do, is go, okay, yeah, I actually did all of these things, but you told them I did these things, so therefore you're in the wrong. No, that's not how it works. If you didn't do it, then you don't have to worry about it. If you did it, your fault. If the truth comes out, you're the one that did it. Yeah, trying to replace the blame is insane work. It's just, oh my god. Look right through it. Is this your one? You're doing the next one?
Yeah.
Sweet.
This one is a bit bleak.
Everyone sucks. Okay.
But also, yeah.
Alright.
Am I the asshole for celebrating my anniversary despite what happened at my wedding? My husband and I had our wedding last year. The venue was beautiful and bordered a lake. Unfortunately, during the reception, one of the young children snuck away from their parents and decided to go for a swim, despite not being able to. This was tragic and devastating, and obviously cut the day short. we haven't really spoken to the parents since then, as we weren't close to them aside from seeing them on holidays, which haven't happened this year. We're still Facebook friends though. When our first anniversary came, I made a post celebrating our anniversary with a few wedding photos. I didn't think anything of it until the comments came flooding in. I woke up to 30 comments and 15 missed calls. The top comment was from the mother of the child, who was outraged by it. She wrote a very long comment about how my post was disrespectful of the tragedy that had happened that day, and how dare I post that and not mention her child, and of course talking to her first. 30 comments later, and it was clear that the entire family had clearly started to take sides in a battle I didn't realize I created. As of today, we're at 150 comments. My friends and my parents are involved too. Half of his family is screaming for me to take it down, apologize to the parents, and show more respect, possibly by even celebrating our anniversary on a different day. Some of the families think that we should still be able to celebrate our anniversary on the actual day, but just keep it offline to keep peace. I don't think I did anything wrong with my post, and I feel like we should be allowed to celebrate our anniversary just like anyone else. I'm not celebrating the tragedy, I'm celebrating my wedding. Am I the asshole?
Fuck. What the fuck?
Um,
Before we get into the edit, let's discuss.
I understand not wanting to celebrate your anniversary on a different day. However, what does it for me is sharing pictures specifically of the wedding. I could understand that would be extremely triggering to the mum, the parents of the child that passed away on that day. Seeing photos from the place where it happened, and if it bordered a lake, I'm guessing a lot of the pictures include the lake because that's why it's there. And yeah, I can understand why they would want that taken down.
At least not speaking to her first, like she said.
Yes, I would have asked first. Because you don't have to post on Facebook that it's your anniversary. You can just celebrate.
Could have written too. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
What I think is insane is why would you want to?
Yeah.
I can't fathom why you would want to celebrate that day. I understand celebrating your marriage and your relationship, but that day would be, if that happened at my wedding, there's no fucking way in hell I would think of it as just me celebrate. Like, how can you compartmentalize? She's compartmentalizing that day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's my anniversary. This also happened. No, it didn't just also happen. It happened at the wedding.
Yeah.
It wasn't just okay, this happened on the. It's not like, okay, Twin Towers happened on the same day as my birthday. It just happened to be the same day. No, it's like this happened at the wedding.
Yeah.
And you still
it's like if you had your birthday party
in the Twin Towers.
In the Twin Towers, yeah.
Yep. No, you're right. There's a difference between the two, and I can't imagine that you'd want to celebrate it.
Yeah.
Like, again, a different day. Maybe you celebrate when you got together. Maybe you just say, yeah, there's so many things where it's like, I don't understand the thought process of how you would be like, the way they talk about it. One of the children stuck away, decided to go for a swim despite not being able to.
Not a big deal.
They doesn't seem like they fucking give a shit. That's horrific.
Yeah.
That's fucking traumatizing.
It genuinely sounds like the most upsetting part of the wedding for her is that the wedding was ruined.
It was a damper. Yeah. Put a damper on the wedding. Fucking kid
exactly.
decided to go for it. What the fuck? Like, it's disrespectful the way they talk about it as it is. That in itself is a massive red flag.
And considering the fact that there was a drowned child in the lake during the time as the photos were taken, you cannot even look at these photos without, like, I feel like if that was like at my wedding, yeah, like I wouldn't even keep the fucking photos.
That's exactly what I'm saying. How could you want to?
Just knowing the context of there's a dead child just on the left or right in that fucking lake over there, right then and then, I wouldn't be able to. But to this woman, it's just I have no idea what levels of mental gymnastics you need to fucking do
Yep.
to do this.
Yep. Yep. That's the root problem is that your mindset about it is already fucked up. It's not even what
Yeah.
you did, it's the fact you don't give a shit. This was very tragic. This was tragic and devastating. And obviously cut the day short. No fucking shit. What the fuck? Oh. Anyway, okay.
Let's go for the first edit.
Yep.
I have changed the post to only be visible to me and deleted all comments to try and stop the arguing, but from the email we just received, those comments were just a symptom of a larger problem. My mother in law sent us an email with, from what I can tell, roughly three-fourths of my husband's family, or three-quarters, I guess, of my husband's family CC'd on it. His parents, grandparents, and the parents of the child are not only in the different day camp, but they are also demanding a second wedding. According to them, they've kept their silence for so long due to shock and being distracted by everything else going on this year, but they feel that because of what happened, we aren't really married yet in the family. They understand that weddings are expensive, so they, husband's parents, offer to completely pay for this wedding, for the second wedding that will be the real wedding
That's
in the
nice.
family's eyes. And because it may be a year or two before this can be done safely, they will tolerate us
Oh,
lying in sin indefinitely due to the circumstances.
huh?
My husband hates arguing with his family. I'm not sure how I would approach this with my family without being laughed out of the room. So now we need to talk what to do with this. Okay, this sounds like a cult.
Okay, the family's fucking weird now too.
They're like hyper religious.
Living in sin
Yeah.
because they weren't properly married because a child died. So the family are also not really focusing on the fact that the child died, and that's why maybe it's a good idea. I thought, you know what? Having a different wedding might even be a nice idea because the day was cut short. Sure,
Yeah.
have a full day of it where you can properly celebrate and do it differently, a different day and everything. That's
A
nice. That's not a
safer
bad idea.
location.
That is really not a bad idea. But because they're living in
The
sin
religious context to it
is
is that the
weird.
the fucking, and I can now understand why for the wife the wedding is also so fucking important and the kid dying is not as important as the wedding because the wedding is a Christian super important ceremony.
Yeah, we know they don't like children, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Oh
And the
yeah, they
reason they
love
organized the
children.
second wedding is just to, I thought at first that it was just to please this like insane woman that was just obsessed with the wedding. Because I know
Yeah.
that some people they do actually get really crazy
Yes,
before weddings.
absolutely
It's
they
like an
do.
actual thing.
No, it is, yeah. I can understand,
Uh
yeah.
and I was thinking that might be a part of it, but
It
this
made
like
sense.
hyper religious wording of this edit
That got
gives it
weird.
like a whole different context. Yeah.
That got so weird. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, to the second edit. I've never had this many calls in my life. My husband and I have tried to read through this and have gotten a chance to actually talk this out. We have avoided the subject for a long time because it is not as easy, is not an easy thing to think about, and it's not like this year hasn't had stresses of its own. He agrees that while something does need to happen, it is a priority that they start and continue to acknowledge that we are in fact married. I have had a conversation with my parents at least, who were exactly as they always were, but they're now aware of the full situation. And while they still would not support a full second wedding, they understand that I have an exceptional situation, and so something exceptional needs to happen. I replied to my mill only to a group Zoom call with us. My parents, my husband's sister in law, set up that sets up all of their technology things, which will happen later in the day. I feel like I should address some things. Number one, I did send condolences and attended the funeral. By not speaking, I meant since the funeral. I mistakenly thought that would be implied. Number two, I am not heartless. I was trying to avoid the rules with the euphemism, and it's not an easy day or thing to talk about. I was trying to keep things to just what happened, which I can see coming across very strange over text. I am also aware that I write very formally, but that's not something I can change. Number three, the pictures and captions didn't reference the wedding itself, and there is no lake visible in the pictures. I only used ones that had just my husband and I in them, and I have sent pictures of just the bridal party before. I never have or will post pictures of the reception.
Hmm.
Number four, my husband and I are looking ideas of how to fix this.
Okay, interesting. That's really interesting. Okay, I
Yeah,
send
kind
condolences and
of.
attended the funeral. Okay, so you did the bare minimum for a child that died at your wedding. Okay. Okay. Okay, so they did think about the photos and
Yeah, they selected them, but that's even worse in my opinion.
yeah. I still I think it's fucking weird because it's still from that day. You know
Yeah,
what?
because
It's still fucking
you
weird.
very obviously knew about the tragedy in your head even,
Yeah.
and you were like, you know what?
It's
Just
still
don't show the
connected.
lake. Yeah, just don't show the
Yeah.
lake.
Yeah, just don't show the lake or the reception where the child died. You know, but it doesn't
Yeah,
really
you'll be
matter
fine.
if it's not at the exact time or place that it happened. Actually, you know what, it does matter. But okay. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Everyone sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Everyone is the
weird ass
asshole.
fucking family.
That's very I was like, okay, no, yeah. Take the post down. On one hand is a family with a dead child facing the 1 year anniversary of their loss,
Yeah.
unimaginable pain. On the other hand is your need to have people comment on how pretty your wedding was and tell you happy anniversary. Their pain far outweighs your need for likes. Why you didn't block the
Yeah.
family out of the dead child from your post is beyond my ability to comprehend. As soon as you saw it was causing pain, you delete the post. Of course, you can
Absolutely.
celebrate your anniversary. Yeah, you know what's weird? We're at 150 comments so far. Delete the fucking
Yeah.
post. Delete
Yeah.
it. Why are
It
you
should have
like,
the moment
look how many comments right now, shorties? What?
the moment that she realized that the parents commented and they didn't, it was upsetting to them. It should have been deleted. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, she was keeping it up just to be fucking stubborn at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet she posted like a gif of some fucking Michael Jackson eating popcorn or something.
I fucking hate that gif.
Yeah. On her own
I was thinking
post.
of like, well, what a millennial would do.
Yeah.
All right,
Actually.
so Z, you get the last, and in my opinion, the worst
Ooh.
story.
Okay. All right.
This one's also on like a archive, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
gonna
I
be a
see.
little different.
All right. Okay, here we go. Am I the asshole for firing an employee after she did a no call, no show 3 days in a row, even though it was an emergency? This is a throwaway. I, 26 male, own a small business with about 30 employees total. My dad
That's
started.
not small. Sorry. That's
Yeah,
not a small business.
you're right. That is a small business. My dad started the business in his 20s and passed it on to me when he died 6 years ago. So I've been running things ever since. I like to think I'm tough but fair to my employees, and I'll help you out if you need, but don't fuck with me or take advantage of my kindness. Don't mess with me, pussies. Anyway, this employee, Julie fake name, in question was with the company for 11 years. And he took over the company only 6 years ago. Used to work swing shifts, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. This past Sunday, she doesn't show up. I call and text her many times, but no answer, so I gave up. Okay, that's one day. I was really annoyed because I got stuck working that night as I keep a bare crew every shift because it's a lot cheaper that way, so there was no one to cover. All right, sounds like a you problem. The next day, I come in around 10 a.m. because I worked late and apparently I had missed a call from Julie's sister. Okay. I didn't call her back because I was just annoyed at the situation and figured if it was an emergency, she'd call back. You didn't call back because you were being a fucking child. She did call back around 11:30 and well, apparently Julie's husband was in a bad car accident very early Sunday morning and he died. She said Julie would not be in for the rest of the week, possibly longer, as she's supposedly catatonic.
Fuck.
No shit. To be honest, TBH, I felt bad. But at the same time, he apparently died Saturday night, Sunday morning. Oh my god. That gave her at least 12 hours to send me some type of heads up about her not showing up. Either way, I decided to be nice and excuse her for the no call she was going to do that day, Monday, but I told the sister that if she did another no call, no show the next day, she'd be fired. 2 days after her husband died. She was kind of silent for a second and then said, "She's not doing a no call, I'm calling right now." And I said that the only person who can call out for Julie is Julie. And if she doesn't bother to contact me, then it will be a NCNS. No call, no show. Julie's sister got pretty hysterical and said how I'm apparently heartless and her husband just died and she can't even get out of bed and had to be bathed by her sister. TMI. And on and on. When I just repeated myself, she snapped. She won't be fucking in, and hung up on me. Well, Julie didn't show up yesterday, so she has officially been terminated. Okay. Like, I feel bad, but I'm sorry. My job is to run my business, and this was actively preventing me from doing so. My number one priority is my company, as it should be, and I just don't think I'm the bad guy here. For that, especially after how disrespectful they both have been to me for no reason. Even though a couple of my employees have definitely been icy to me since yesterday, and I'm sure it's because of this bullshit. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
One thing I'd like to mention before anything, I do know that they found out that this is not a fake story.
Oh my fucking god.
This is the dude. He talks like that. He just is like that. Because on the old post, when it was actually up back in the day, he was actually in the replies defending himself.
Right. First
So
of
this
all,
woman who's worked in that store since that guy
11
was a
years.
pimple-faced teenager.
His dad was running it. Clearly did a better job
Yeah.
if she stayed there for 11
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
the power trip in this is insane.
Yep.
Because the whole the only person that can call in for Julie is Julie. Well, if Julie was in the hospital in a fucking coma, do you expect her to call in to tell you she's not going to be at work? Her poor sister has just said she's catatonic. Do you know what that means? The poor woman is probably in bed, doesn't get up for fucking anything. She's not thinking about calling out of work. She probably doesn't even remember that she fucking works right now. That's not even. Oh my god, that's so fucking.
It's the
frustrating.
last thing you would ever need to worry about in any capacity. Yeah. Ever. That is the last thing. And this fucking idiot is like, well, I expected her to show up on Tuesday, 2 days after her husband died tragically.
Yeah.
And she's the only one that can call. Not only that, but the sister called pretty soon after. She didn't show up Sunday. The sister called Monday or whatever. Maybe it was whatever. It was the next day. The sister called like very quickly after, which was really nice of her. She didn't have to do that.
She did not have to do that.
She didn't have to call this fucking idiot and say, "This is what happened. Actually, I'm just sorting Julie's stuff out for her, taking care of her, lost an in-law, taking care of her fucking poor sister, and I'm gonna call this fucking idiot just to, hey, I'm just letting you know." I can tell you who should have been the one.
Yeah.
Just even going into this whole thing, it's just so inhuman thinking to all of this. Where he still feels like he has some sort of a moral high ground because he is defending his company. Also, the fact that in the original post he put emergency into quotation marks.
Yep, I see that.
So
Yep, I
he is
see the
also
quotes.
clearly saying that, you know, the husband dying, he does not really consider it an emergency.
Catatonic, in quotes.
I don't know what that means. It's a fake word.
Her word
It
in
was made by
brackets.
liberals.
He says TBH. I felt bad.
Well, you should have felt worse.
And he also mentions, oh god, where is it? Working that night as they keep a bare crew every
Yep.
shift. Bare crew, that
Yep.
means there's no replacements. They're strictly
Yeah.
on their
That's-
schedules. You can't
I
pull them
noted
away.
that he's choosing
This
to run the
is a-
business because he's a cheap bastard.
Yeah, he's a
Yep.
cheapskate.
Yeah. I had to do it. I had to do the shift because I don't fucking keep anyone else on because I am a cheap son of a bitch.
That's your problem.
You run the
Sorry.
business. That's a choice you've made to not be
And
able
the
to
guy's
cover for
original
human
username when
instances.
posting it
Sorry?
was Bossman7548.
Oh no, not Boss Man. I know one of those.
Absolutely, just that's his entire personality. Business owner, capitalist.
26 male. 30 employees.
He is still the same fucking snot-faced little kid loser. And when that woman joined, I feel like he didn't like age a day since he was a teenager. What is it with these kinds of posts when it comes to that? Where it's just like there's no capability to just reflect, to set down. I feel like so many people struggle with this in the stories that we've read specifically. Is it's so hard for these people to just sit down and think how the other person feels. Because I feel like so many of these situations, so many of them, would have been avoided if they were able to just do that.
Think. Just think.
Yeah.
Does this person runs a business for 6 years now. He doesn't know what fucking bereavement leave is? You've got to be fucking derelict. You've got to be actually brain dead. He's running the business out of a fucking coma. This is criminal behavior. Also, I think that's illegal. I don't know what country this is in, so it's probably not, but
It's definitely the United States.
yeah.
This was in
The fact
2020.
yeah.
Yeah, your husband dies, and your expectation is this poor woman should immediately think how that will affect you. 11 years and you drop her over 3 days. That's also insane. 11 years is a long time to be actively in the same company. It shows a lot of dedication.
Saying it's a small business and it's been established for clearly over 11 years and has 30 employees, that's not a small business.
It is a long running business. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very well established business. And if it's not going well, then that's your problem because your dad seemed to do just fine.
I can only imagine that the dad's rolling over in his grave.
Yeah.
Actually, because by the sounds of it, this person, they've been with the company. I don't know, like he started the business and I don't know, maybe the dad was a dick too. We don't have a fucking clue, but I can only imagine that the dad was running it just fine and that this fucker came in and was like, okay, I'm going to run it like this and not give a shit.
Somebody posted a comment.
Yeah.
She'll be able to bring your ass through the ringer for unemployment. Might be an at-will state, but doesn't make this a rightful termination. She'll definitely be winning that case. And Bossman replied, well, since she chose not to come in, even after knowing that would happen, then technically she quit. She chose to vacate her position, so no unemployment.
That's not how that works.
They don't even know the law. This fucking idiot doesn't even know legalities around their own business.
This guy sniffs glue for fun.
His insides are paper mache. Wow. Considering OP kept a skeleton crew due to their own poor planning and cutting corners, then was upset that an employee having a legitimate emergency and throwing off the flimsy and unstable balance, I get the feeling the business is already struggling and employees won't want to save a sinking ship with a captain as cruel and callous as OP. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if after they like really saw, if the employees saw this gone. They would fucking leave. There's no way that
Yeah.
I would guarantee that business was this was during COVID, actually, 2020. That shit sunk that year. Surely. There is no way that business stayed afloat. Those people, those employees, yes, people need jobs, but fuck, I've seen people really stick together. In a time like that, there's no way. And especially if she's been there 11 years and these other employees that have probably been there for a long time too.
Yeah.
They've known her and they know her more than they know this fucker. Way to ruin your dad's business with a bad rep. Mm. Mm-hmm. Sounds like dad built the business with sense and hard work, and the son just inherited it with no experience or work ethic. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tough but fair. Doesn't sound like it, actually.
No.
Sounds like you're
No.
actually the complete opposite. You're a big baby, and you're an asshole. Bigger asshole than Juno.
Oh, and that is incredible.
Yeah, somebody asked him like how does he like he shouldn't like expect a phone call, and he replied, "I only expect phone calls from people who are physically capable of calling. She's not the one who died, so she's capable of calling."
Oh, yes. Again.
That's
What does catatonic mean? I don't know. Her word.
And
I'm not going to
somebody
Google it.
replied to him, "I wonder how are you capable of calling because you seem dead inside." And he replied, "Well, if I am dead inside, I can still clearly send a text, and Julie is alive and well." So
No, she's not alive and well.
She's not
She
well.
is alive. She's alive. She's not living. She's not well. We established that immediately. I think that actually you don't even need to tell him that she's not well, that she's catatonic. I think it's implied.
Yeah.
Her husband died in a freak accident. So yeah, the implication is she's very much not fucking well and that you are brain dead.
As well as it's like her sister has to bathe her, and then he put TMI.
Yeah,
Well,
too much information. Why would she tell me something disgusting like that?
because you're a fucking idiot and you're
She
not
went
listening to her.
Yeah.
She was hoping that would get you to listen to what she was telling you.
I think what
that the
she
sister
realized,
is not well.
she realized he doesn't know what catatonic means, and so she started explaining it in simple terms to a simpleton. It means that I have to bathe her because she can't bathe herself. TMI. I don't listen to women or what they have to say to me or someone explaining a word. And I don't Google words.
Julie is alive and well. No, Julie is in bed staring at the wall. That's not alive and well.
You are Julie's last straw, I would say.
Yeah.
Somebody left a comment. "You are the asshole. She worked for you for 11 years. Someone did try and call to let you know, and you couldn't be bothered to call back. That's just lazy and spiteful. And the way you put emergency in quotations, do you think an employee's spouse dying in a traumatic accident is not an emergency? The rest of your employees are probably looking for other work already, so you haven't prioritized the company, you've damaged it." And he replies with, "I highly doubt that, but even if they are, it's a simple job, so very easy to fill, so the company won't be damaged."
Yeah. Sure. Whatever you say. I would love an update on this entire business. Surely someone figured out what fucking business it is. Surely someone figured this out. Let me look up. Am I the asshole for firing an employee after she did a no call, no show? Mm-hmm. Update. Um. Hmm. I would love to know.
His account's suspended, so I can't even see
Yeah.
anything else.
Next level evil. Mm-hmm. If they found out it was real, then someone must have found out, like, where. Surely.
I didn't check where. It's just when I was looking through
Hmm.
I saw people talking about it that he was like confirmed real.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, at this rate, I have a feeling the business might be bankrupt.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't doubt that. Found these gems, prepare to be outraged. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw the comment responses. Uh-huh. Anyone have a summary? Blah, blah, blah. He was trying to farm karma by him posting this. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I can't find anything. Well, I wish the worst, so.
I wish it was fake.
Yep, that too. God, I wish.
Like a very elaborate troll. But at the same time, if you were such an elaborate troll, why would you glaze yourself in the comments so fucking hard?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you even come up with something like that either.
I'm sure you could. I'm just thinking, where's the fun in that?
Yeah, like it doesn't seem like very elaborate to come up. That's what I mean. Like it's so stupid to come up with something so stupid. Come up with something fun, elaborate. This is so simply okay. All right.
Yeah, my idea, so my wife's collection of really expensive soaps because I was a hungry boy.
Oh my fucking god.
So recently, I've been doing this thing called silly maxing. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. It needs to start off even better. Me, 56M, and my wife, 14F. We've been doing this thing called silly maxing. It's when I pretend that I'm younger than her. So as a
Oh my
gesture of
God.
my whimsy and silliness, I ate her expensive soap collection that her grandma, fucking 32F, bought her for for our 5-year anniversary.
No!
What the fuck? It just kept getting worse.
Am I the asshole Reddit?
I wonder.
That's
I also think that I
That's
also
exactly
think
what
the
the fucking
Holocaust
story
didn't
sounded like.
happen. Am I the asshole Reddit?
That's exactly what half those fucking stories sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my 23F wife and my 21F daughter. Wrong. Next one.
Yeah. Really loud.
I wish I had a
incorrect
buzzer.
buzzer
I wish I
sound.
had.
I was about
Yeah.
to say,
Do you know what? Actually, for the next one, we should have a buzzer the moment we think this person is the asshole, and maybe we'll be wrong too early on. But I'd rather do it the moment I have that feeling. Yes, they're already an
Yep.
asshole, and then have like a fucking
Yeah,
buzzer.
I feel like if we do it again, I feel like we should find more complex stories.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, we'll do ones like that, and then yeah, we'll have like a little buzzer. Maybe even on the soundboard, we'll make a little buzzer, and then immediately, anyone who thinks immediately, that's it. Ah, buzzer goes off. Or I'll just make the
I feel
sound with
like
my mouth.
yeah, I feel like you do it the second the story goes. Hi, I'm like fucking 42M.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a single decent man in their 40s in these stories today.
Yeah, that's true. The only good guy we really had, well, I don't know how old he was, the rice guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he was though. I don't remember. I don't think that they were like old.
Also, I don't think the collector guy was necessarily a bad guy. He was
No,
in the
I don't.
wrong.
Well, the story wasn't asking if he was an asshole. It was she was asking
Yeah,
if
yeah.
she was an asshole. So yeah, I don't think that applies at all.
Yeah.
I do think he
And
was a bit.
I
Actually,
guess
no,
the
I think he was
surfer
an
dude.
asshole. I do think he was an asshole for keeping rotten
Perishables.
2,100 rotten yogurts in the apartment. I do think that's an asshole thing to do when someone else lives with
Yeah.
you. So yeah, I do think that action was asshole. Yeah, but that's not here or there. Whatever. What were you saying? Sorry.
The surfer dude. From that unhinged story.
Oh, the dad. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. The primary custody holding father.
Yeah.
Yeah, around 50 years old, or give or take. Yeah. He didn't even get a say in anything in that story. He's just doing his thing,
Just literally living his best life, and she's
taking care of
molding
the
in the
kids. He's
background.
taking care of the kids, and he's learning how to surf because it's his lifelong dream. And she's like, I can't fucking believe this motherfucker would surf. How dare you? I'm gonna go home and
In
cry.
front of
Quit having
my
fun.
salad.
And he's just his lifelong dream to learn how to surf. And she's like, he's dating her. And the family's like, she taught us all how to surf. Oh, really? Surfing, huh? What does she have that I don't? Surfing skills.
A surfboard. A house by the ocean.
Surfboard wax. I can get that too, kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excuse me, kids, while I drive home and cry all night.
Holding my surfboard wax that I just bought at the shop instead of buying my kids food.
I need to heal, and by that I mean I'm going to make a Spotify playlist.
Real.
Oh my god.
My bitch husband and his surfer hoe wife.
You know, what did she call it? His chippy.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah.
his chippy.
My
A chippy to me
my
is a little
stupid husband
it's a little fire
and
stove.
his chippy.
That's the only thing I know what a chippy is. A chippy is in my house, the little fireplace that's like in the kitchen?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
chippy. It's a little stove that you cook on. That's what a fucking chippy is. The little fire that you can heat the water and cook food on. That's a chippy. Not the surfing instructor, his little chippy. Let's start using that.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's
Hey, little
like it's
chippy.
like a term for like
47-year-old
his new
woman.
flame.
Floozy.
I've never heard
the
chippy.
word
I've never
I'm
heard
looking for.
chippy. But I would like to reclaim Lil Chippy, and I think we should start using it. Of course, we say shorty, but how about Lil Chippy? All right. Don't all say yay at once. The fuck?
Well, I feel like it's better than shorty because every time I say shorty, I feel like that woman from Boondock. I forget what is it.
Oh, I
she
haven't
says?
seen Boondocks. Yeah.
I fucks with these crab cakes. That one. That's how I feel every time I say it.
I love
how
it.
it.
It's
Like
become like fully part of your like dialect now after I started saying
Yeah.
shorty.
Yeah, it's a disease.
Well, a good one.
It's chronic.
You can have a good disease.
Can you?
Yeah, shorty disease. That we have one right now. Shorty. Shorty get low.
Oh, hello, Bab.
I think that's our sign to end the
Yeah.
episode because it's 7 o'clock on the it's 7 o'clock on the dot and Babs has just started crying and he's not gonna
Of
stop.
course. No.
The episode
one.
always ends when Babs grows. Rewatch the old ones. You'll see.
Yeah, he's gone again. Yeah, he's probably getting closer to my fucking window as we speak.
He's looming.
But I imagine he's like a Minecraft chicken who's like floating in the air off of a giant cliff, just slowly coming down,
Yeah.
and he lands right in front of my window just to crow really loud.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's us for Am I the Asshole stories.